All right, let's bring out the running backs by touches for the first week. This is how many, who led in touches, touches or rushing attempts, and targets in the passing game. Well, hey, Christian McCaffrey with 31 touches. Right, he was supposed to be hurt. 31. Chase Brown followed 23. And Barkley, Jonathan Taylor, names we've seen here. Brees Hall, well, welcome back. That's pretty good there. Dylan Sampson here with 20. That's quite a surprise here. That rookie went out and did Tony Pollard, Derek, Chase. A lot of the familiar names are expect to see here, right? Well, how important is how do they do with those touches, right? Here's the fantasy scoring. Derrick Henry down there ninth. He had his 18 rushing attempts, one target in the pass. Hey, 13 yards on that target, but 169 two touchdowns. Very efficient. Gibbs led with his 100% efficiency last year. That's a point per fantasy touch, and Derrick Henry, number one with the ninth amount of touches. You can see, take that against Christian McCaffrey, the opposite, has the number one amount of touches. He led, of course, with that 10 more than everyone else, and it was ended up ninth in fantasy. No touchdowns. Yards per game really plays into it too. Ask Chase Brown here, right? Chase Brown had the second amount of touches, yet he finished 18th in fantasy for running backs week one, right? That set a record. Brown had minus 43 yards before contact, the lowest in games since they've been keeping track. So he's getting touched behind the line almost every time. It's not really coming up to, is he good or not? It's the line in front of him trying to run, right? And Derrick Henry had a good time of it. So we can use this as kind of a gauge to see how successful they are. Let's bring them out the other way, though. All right, so now I've brought them out by scoring. Derrick Henry, of course, led everyone last week with finished first, scored 30-point average. 169 yards, 2 touchdowns. And, here, Javonte Williams here finished second in scoring. 2 touchdowns, count them 2, 18 a game. And Robinson, here he's scoring pretty good. So here they are by score, but let's check out their, that's how many touches. So even Javonte, who joins the list here, he still had 17 touches. You can see here, here's where the anomalies start. And this is what we're going to be trying to weed out is Bill here, he finished with only 10 touches, but he finished as the 10th scoring running back, right? With only the 37th amount of 10 touches. We can't count on that. 82 yards, 1 touchdown, with only 10 touches. And the surprise one here's A-Chain, right? He's ranked 8th for next week. Well, he only got 7 rushing attempts and 3 thing. Yes, he was 135% on those, but hey, what if that's a very low amount of touches? Or what are we going to get next week? You got to check him out. So we're going to be looking for anomalies like this, right? And the ones that do good as well too, because hey, after a while, it's just not going to stand up, and they're going to have to do something else, right? Of course, we can't keep track and manually go through those every week, so we're going to let the computer do the work, right? We're going to take the touch totals, and the fantasy average, and we're going to figure out the efficiency here. So the efficiency is going to be the fantasy average divided by the touch total, right? Hey, we'll let the computer do the math, but pretty easy. That's how we're going to find these efficiency rankings, and then see people moving up and down in efficiency and take it versus their teammates and see which way the team's going to end up going. Like last year, we'd be keeping a track on Bucky Irvin's touch totals, right? We'd be seeing, it's running average, keep a running average, right, for each week, and would have seen his obviously going up with touches every week up until the end where he had a job and everything. But that's one way we can use that. Of course, we're going to be wanting to keep a close eye on some like the Denver running backs, who's getting the touches, like 18-6 last week, but who's doing the most with them? How about the Seattle running backs? 12-10, we're going to keep an eye. We wanted to keep track of who, and if there's shifts. And Brees Hall, 21-6. That wasn't the split we were thinking. So anyway, we're going to keep track of those kind of numbers. All right, for good data analysis, we like to have good data. And we have just a week's worth of data. So on the touches, so we can go over their efficiency and how they're doing efficiently on those touches. So we could take that. We'll have to weed out some of the 3 touches for Raheem Sanders and Juszczyk here for 2 touches. Let's make it a minimum of 5 touches set at. and we'll go through them. King Henry back at the top. Let's go through these efficiency numbers and see what the story is there. All right, hit that subscribe button as the season gets closer. Our fantasy season, you want to be subscribed to get the latest. And give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Thank you. Of course, we know Derrick Henry's story here is the top efficiently. You're going to play him if you got him. How about Krosky Merritt? Bill here. Hey, the big story there, of course, he played like Thursday, but hey, the injury there for that's going to have a ramification for the season. This Bill Krosky Merritt just keeps jumping to the top. Everything seems to be parting for ways for him, and he just got to go. Going, he going to be a hot commodity next week. How about A-Chain? Devon A-Chain, hey, that got 55 yards rushing and got the touchdown. But hey, those 10 touches, right? 7 rushes. He only had 7 rushes. Ollie Gordon, hey, he got 2 touches. Just not enough touches, not enough offense to go around. And they got New England this week. New England's going to be looking to improve off that loss last week. How about? But 9th schedule, so that's not so good for Devon A-Chain. But you're going to be playing if you got him. Let's move to one that you might be questioning. Harvey, right? Harvey got that 70 yards. So you're thinking, hey, it's 0.7. Maybe but next week he'll do a little better. That was 6 touches, right? And this is where it flags. And J.K. Dobbins had the 18 touches. So it's, they got him ranked 35th. J.K. Dobbins, they got down here 29th. So, I mean, obviously you'd play Dobbins. They've got that middle of the road here at Indy. And if that's a closer game, he shares there in Denver. That's going to be the whole story, whether it's J.K. Dobbins and Harvey. I mean, eventually it'll be probably at the end of the year move more towards Harvey. But, hey, Batty, they throw him a bone. 16 yards here receiving. And so, that's just part of the way he does it there in Denver. All right, I wouldn't play Harvey this week. They got him ranked 35th. You probably got better options. Aaron Jones seems to be a problem here, right? You're like, well, hey, 23, you ended up with 12 fantasy points. What's the problem? Well, 11 touches, right? And if he wouldn't have caught that long little touchdown pass there towards the end, you'd been sitting at 3 points. Would you have been happy with 3 points? Meanwhile, Mason over here had 16 touches and got, not as efficient, but hey, so that kind of comes down now. They've got him ranked 31st, so that'd be on, you wouldn't probably be starting him anyway, and not so great, position schedule, so hey, how about Allen? People might see that touchdown. I don't think he was going to throw 6 touches last week, so you can't really go with him. Now, obviously, Breece Hall's got the green light to go with because he got little 21 touches. Now, if that starts changing, we'd change up maybe, but right now you can't go with Braylon Allen, even though he was 115% fish got the touchdown. So here's a couple others. Javonte Williams. Yes, Javonte 33. Got the 2 touchdowns, 54. Now, the rushing numbers weren't so great, but that position schedule, 29th this week for the home against the Giants. He is the story. I mean, you go large on Javonte Williams. He's going to do it again, right? And if Dallas is looking to rebound any here, right, pick that up. Hey, at home against the Giants, maybe what they want. Javonte, and an easy schedule, it says here with the Giants. So, Javonte's all systems go. They got him ranked 22nd. Hey, I like him. You'd be getting him going. And, of course, Robinson, it don't matter. If they'd ranked him 99th, you're playing him. You got too much invested. Tough game against Minnesota, though, right? So, hey, you're going to be playing him anyway. Oh, here comes a couple. Jaylen Warren, right? Come in there, fit 37 yards rushing, but got some 22 yards, got the touchdown receiving. Hey, 13 targets or touches for him. Boy, that's borderline. He don't get that touchdown. You're looking at 5 points. So, and you go over there to Gainwell's going to sneak in for 10. Gainwell sneaking in for 10 touches. Did nothing with it. He's going to flag the other way. But, so, Pittsburgh, hey, is it a tough game too? No, easy rushing game supposedly. Against Seattle at home, so maybe they lean more. But, hey, does that mean this Caleb Johnson starts coming in? He had 1 touch. They're going to start pushing him back in there a little bit more. That's a tough start there, Jaylen Warren. I guess if you've got nothing better, you're going with him. 24, that's right in the borderline. Although that's nicer schedule at home, I guess you'd have to play him higher than some of the others. How about Cook here? Cook, of course, at the Jets, 16 schedule. Hey, he was 18 touches. He's all system go there, right? It'd been nice, a little bit, 100 yards there in scrimmage, touchdown, everything was all go. I mean, obviously you're playing him. And here we're gonna get this. How about Kamara here, top dog in town? He had only 13. You like to have had there too. If you got the touchdown, you're looking at 5 fantasy points. A game against San Francisco at home. 12. That's not the best schedule either. Kind of caution there, but hey, he's ranked 20th. 10, 12 team leagues, you're gonna start in him. All right. I mean, got to. Charbonnet, though, here's a questionable one, right? So Zach Charbonnet came on, got the touchdown. So pretty well last week. Him and Walker, who was terribly inefficient, 24%. He'll be on the other end for you two of them. But Zach Charbonnet, obviously 89 because he got the touchdown. But hey, he looked better, more efficient. They got him ranked 26th this week. Finished 19th. So at Pittsburgh, that's an easy schedule. And boy, 26th, I'd almost prefer him, right? I'd get him in the lineup. They're shifting towards him. I mean, that Kenneth Walker was terribly inefficient last week. So there's a matchup there right there. If you were picking Jaylen Warren, who they got 24th, or Zach Charbonnet, I'd go with Charbonnet. Easier, schedule. Things seem to be slanting towards him, and was very efficient in what he did last week there. So and then you get down to here. Well, Trey Benson, 9 touches. They did give him 9 touches, and he did good. So that's the negative for James Conner, right? James Conner here, 65, got a touchdown, but look at that, only 16 attempts or touches. Didn't do, the yardage was terrible, 44 on that. That's a kind of a red flag for James Conner. All right, so James Conner's got a pretty good schedule, so we look for him to rebound. Trey Benson, it's too early with those 10 touches, obviously. You're not going to be getting him in there. They've got him ranked 39th. Travis Etienne, look at that. 82, had 19 touches. God did perform in the yardage. Didn't get the touchdown. Boy, if he'd got a touchdown, he'd have been really shooting up there. But he was the 5th running back overall. They got him ranked 17th for this week at Cincinnati. That's probably a little low on his ranking. He is the guy in town, right? Well, Tank Bigsby's gone. Tootin is up next, but Tootin got 3 touches. So even if they, now part of that Allen got, he got targets. I don't know why it's not showing him right, but he got some a little bit, not much. So Etienne's going to be the guy, and if this Tootin fumbles one time, he's on notice for this fumbling issue. They're getting him a fumble or 9 times at Virginia Tech. Anyway, so Travis Etienne is gold right now going. Seems like. And here's a couple more. Hubbard, 6th ranked. They've got him pretty good, but he's going in at Arizona. He did good, 19 touches. Obviously, you're going with Hubbard again and Kyrene Williams. Maybe their efficiency wasn't great, although that kind of was. 18 touches. Just didn't get the yardage, but the touchdown bailed him out. But, he's got an easy schedule this week at Tennessee. So looking to lean on Kyrene Williams. The others, Blake Corum, 2 touches. Hunter, did he get to touch? No touches. So, hey, it's always called Kyrene Williams, So that's all looking good. J.K. Dobbins, we talked about him. Breece Hall and Barkley. Breece Hall, look at this, the easy schedule, but that's Buffalo, right, at home. They'll probably run him, and hey, we talked about him, he outdid Allen. So Breece Hall's all systems go. They got him ranked 16th. That's pretty good. I mean, you got to go with him, and Barkley, of course, you're going with him too. All right, let's take a look at the other direction. All right, hold your nose. We're going the other way. Some inefficiency. How about Jerome Ford? Right, he had 8 yards. All right, he had 6 rushing attempts for 8 yards. No wonder they turned to Sampson in a big way. All right, he was terrible. How about Gainwell? They kept trying. This is part of it in Pittsburgh here too. We knew that's why we were down on Caleb Johnson early, but eventually they're gonna. This efficiency leads to him getting more time. 10 touches, 23% efficiency. That's just so terrible. 23 yards from scrimmage. Whew. They'll start weeding him out. That's better for Warren and Caleb Johnson, obviously, right? So I mean, hey, that's just where down here the inefficient ones mean just too as much here. Algier here, 24 yards. Hey, they gave him 10 touches, 2.4 yards. Hey, it was tough sledding for both of them, right? But hey, tough game against Minnesota next week too. Here's one, Kenneth Walker, inefficient, right? That's what's leading to the Charbonnet play, right? 24% had 10 touches, had 24 yards, just nasty, right? Is he injured? No, they don't have them in the foot. They're playing no practice. Been held out because of hot spot on his foot. You know that all that off season. How about how about Gibbs here and Montgomery? Whew. Detroit, you wouldn't think of them as inefficient. They got 11, but look at those points. You started Montgomery, you're hurting. And I guess the same's true for Gibbs. You put a lot in that, too. And 5th ranked for next week, 37th position. Home against Chicago. That'll cure all wills. Both of these guys should take off next week, right? You look to see what Detroit's going to do. Got to get back on. Probably Chicago's going to be paying for the price. Detroit looked to get that offense going. They got him 23rd for Montgomery and 5th. I would be going with Montgomery. That 23rd. Hey, unless you got a lot better, he's in. So no taking him out. Even though they're inefficient there, but hey, hopefully they'll rebound. That's what we got to watch. How about Tyrone Tracy? Right? Woo. He had 12 touches. No touch on 30 yards from 35, 3.5, 35 yards from scrimmage. Yeah. Now, he's at Dallas. The schedule's a little nicer. They kept working that scat bow in there, too, didn't they? Right? He ended up with, 4 touches. But I saw him in there a lot. Too much. Right? Singletary, did he get pitch in for 3 touches? So they're kind of spreading around. But, hey, at Dallas, can Russell Wilson get him going? How long before they put Dart in? This is what we're waiting. All right, so how about Ramondre? Hey, he only had 15 yards rushing, 12 yards receiving, 9 touches. Hey, it's going to be rough there with this Henderson in town. He got 11 touches. Hey, 5.1, you're not happy with him. So those two sharing on a team that ain't scoring a lot. Now, things might improve against Miami, middle of the road. Miami's looking, I don't like starting either of those. Right? I mean, if you got heavy investment and you got to, I guess you'd start Henderson because he could break one at any time. Right? How about Dowdell? They gave him 5. He's down there at the bottom. Nothing there. Swift, he didn't do very good. You can see here, 30th ranked running back. 20 touches they gave him. 6.5. He needs a touchdown. He needs more running. At Detroit, that's going to be a tough game. I don't care what it says. All right, so, hey, they got him ranked 19th. Hope you got a better thing. If he's your 3rd, I'd be looking at what I got at wide receiver, maybe. Although, hey, that Mongali, he's cleared from injuries, right? And I thought I saw something they're going to start getting him worked in more of promise. But, hey, the promises. You never know. So, Hampton, he got his chance last week, and he wasn't very efficient either. 36%, 17 touchdowns. He could only imagine 61 yards from screens. That ain't good, and Najee's just going to be starting to eat a little bit more, right? So that they got him ranked 18th for next week. Najee's going to get a little bit more. But, hey, up against Vegas, that was a tough one. Vegas, hey, that's no pushover. That says flash in the number 5 schedule. Vegas did pretty good against the run last week. So, hey, obviously if you have him 18, you might have to play him, but you probably have a lot invested in him too. But hey, that daily stuff, you wouldn't want to be playing him. How about Hunt over here? 7 touches, limited. Of course, here's some inefficiency. San Francisco here. Yeah, we saw McCaffrey here. Just no touchdowns, but boy, they can't keep him up. That 31 target. I mean, where's they going to go? You look for Robinson to get more involved this week, especially with Brock Purdy out there, Mac Jones. They'll be running this Robinson a little bit, So hey, and he had 9 last week, 3.7. He get a touchdown that helped, but hey, it's just 41 ranking there, 2 ranking there. That's very dangerous, I think, with that. That's a 21 schedule here, at New Orleans. I mean, I know you're going to play him because you got to. You have so much invested. But, hey, that's the only game in town theory because all these others are hurt. I don't know. Maybe New Orleans rises up and does something this week. Hurt San Francisco team, Chubb. Whew. Yeah, I mean, hey, he had 13 touches, 60 yards. Just no touchdowns. Hey, I mean, he did look better. I mean, he's going to obviously run the show. Woody Marks came in with 3 touches, nothing. Right? And Dameon Pierce, 3 touches, nothing. So nothing really going good for Houston. And we had Nick Chubb still on top there. Trevor Henderson, like we said, they got him ranked 27th this week. If you paid an investment, you're going to feel obligated to go with him. And this Sampson's going to have the better deal, right? I guess he's passed Ford, with those 20 touches. Now, a lot of that's receiving, 8 of it's targets, but Judkins, hey, still out. So, hey, Dylan Sampson, what a great thing. And he's got an easy schedule this week at Baltimore. Ooh, I don't know if that's easy, but he'll be a highlight over there. So, hey, and Jonathan Taylor down here too. So, all right, that's a look at some of those. We'll go through more of them next time.